So I just discovered something interesting about America. We got the military, right? We got business, right? Ooh, oh yeah. Hmm. Ooh. Oh, that's. Oh, damn. That's fucking. Oh man, that's fucking good. Fuck. What like that? Oh, we need to. Oh man, we need to do that every fucking day. Where can we do that every day? We need to do that. Oh, we need to find more places to do that. This is good. Oops, sorry. I was on the toilet. I was taking a shit a long place. Thinking about the military. Thinking about people in the military. That's, I have a common thought. I don't know so much that's common, like common knowledge or wisdom or whatever. But it's, you know, soldiers, this is not to berate soldiers necessarily, but, and it's not unique to American soldiers, of course, but it's military personnel are, military personnel and law enforcement are like the only ones that are allowed to commit state sanctioned murder. And that may be a gruesome way to say it, but it's a necessary way to say it, I think. Because you need to talk about these kinds of things honestly with the right wording in order to get the proper message across so that everybody understands what it is. In no uncertain terms, so that this stuff is undertaken I would say as little as possible, but basically never, I would say. And do you want people in the military that want to sign up specifically to commit state sanctioned murder, to that want to get in the military because they need to scratch some itch? Are those the kind of people that you want in the military? I would argue, fuck no. Those are probably the people that are going to, one, get other people in the unit. Well, put them in danger, one, maybe get them killed. So if you go into the military, you know, that's something to be concerned about. Gung ho ass motherfuckers that will endanger the unit. And two, on top of that, killing, you know, unarmed civilians just because that's, I mean, it's obviously a war crime, but it's just, that's just wrong. You know, non-combatant deaths. just because, oh, they're there. That's messed up. But uh, Al Bundy said it in Wayne's World or Wayne's World 2, I don't remember which one. He said, why is it that if a man kills another man in a heat of passion or something like that, he's a criminal, but if he does it on the battlefield, he's a hero? It's the same thing. Well, it's not the same thing, but it's an interesting, different statement. And so, this immediate and unwavering holding up soldiers, just, we support our soldiers and thank you for your service and all that stuff. Yes, but, I think it's just, is in a lot of ways way too much ball coddling. And I think also, I kind of get the feeling from talking to a few people that have been in the military that sometimes some people that have been in the military love that. They love getting that kind of adulation. And some people some of them that have been in the military just are like, thank you, and just don't like all of that. It's just like, I've had enough of that. Like, just like maybe they've been through enough where, like, not everything I did was just the height of heroism. Most of it was either just boring day-to-day garbage, and some of it was, if you've been there and you knew what we did, you wouldn't be like saying, "Wow, that was like great heroic shit." You would be saying, "Why the fuck did you do that? Who told you to do that? You should not have done that." So, just stop throwing all this at them. Just give kind of a and go on your fucking way. And again, it's respectful. So I don't want to hear a lot of bullshit from people saying, you hate America and you hate the troops and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, hate is a strong word. I would say appreciate. I appreciate people that do something that I don't want to do and actually can't do. The military would not allow me to serve, and I think for good fucking reason. You do not want somebody in any branch of the military that has a seizure disorder. So, even one that's basically under control, you just don't want it there. You don't want that wild card possibility in, ground forces in any deployment scenario. The only capacity I would ever be able to serve in is at like a clerk position or something like that, where total back of the line, like in America, non-combat type of thing, like just in the homeland, where I would like never be able to really mess anything up. And it's like, then kind of what's the point? So, another thing I just want to add, because I was thinking about it when I was going to the I was thinking about it when I was going to the gas station earlier. There's another criticism of Christianity. Another couple. Well, the first one is not really a criticism of Christianity. It's a criticism of believers in general. Believers of any faith, which does also apply to Christians. And it's something that skeptics, I think, I don't know if Neil deGrasse Tyson said this, but I'm gonna give Neil deGrasse Tyson credit for it, even though I think he and that other guy, Sam Harris, had said it also. But if you're a Christian, you are an atheist. And I say this thing because atheists or Christians are they so hate like certain words. They're like, oh, you're secular, you're an atheist, blah, blah, blah. And they say that with such derision towards people. I hate secular people. I hate atheists. I hate communists and stuff. And it's just like, it's so obvious that like you don't even know what you're saying. Like you don't even know what you're complaining about. You're just ignorant of what you're talking about. Plain ignorant of what you're talking about. Because you're an atheist too. You're an atheist of Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, every religion on earth, except Christianity. Same thing for Jews, Muslims, Hindus. They're all atheists except for one religion. And they're like, well, that's the only religion on earth, some of them. It's like, well, I'm glad you're that ignorant and proud of it, but maybe you shouldn't be allowed to participate in certain forms of secular society, meaning voting. Like, you can vote in like who is in your church book club because that's not secular society. But secular society is a greater democracy, a representative republic of everybody. And so in that you have to acknowledge the other guys. All right? So, even if you say, well, you're wrong, that God or gods don't exist and you're just wrong, it's like, well, their religion exists. I mean, they may be wrong, but, it exists to them. So, if they're wrong, then they're atheists. You can call them heathens, but another word for that might be atheists. And if they're right, again, hypothetical situation, if they're right, then you are both a heathen and atheist. So, again, what are we doing here? Now, I understand that you know you're right, which, again, it's not the definition of knowledge. It is revealed truth. Different thing. So, that's that kind of thing. Arctic Barb's open. No, Arctic Barb not open. Okay. Ah, fuck. The other thing is something that I think about from time to time, and I think about like the good thing because I've never. Well, first of all, I don't really read books because reasons. Let's just say reasons. Um, but to a finer point, good. I don't. I've never read. I've never read the Bible either, so I don't really. And I've never dissected it either because I feel like the Bible is a book that you have to really read and kind of like analyze and stuff. So I'm not going to read it, let alone pick it apart and everything. That would take an amount of work that I'm just not freaking ready to do. Um, so I just kind of take the opinion that I am going to understand Christianity. There we go. From a point of view of what I hear from people on TV, movies, and in person. I'm going to be like, all right, Christianity is what I get from all of that. And it is that in proportion to what I get from that. And so it also is that, um, it's more like actions. You can say you can talk a good game, but your actions, that's also that's also very important. What do you do? What do I see you doing? I see you in America not doing what you say you are. All right. Uh, to a large extent. So, you know, so in proportion, more than 50% are not carrying out what you claim you are doing, unless it's like to your family, to your own tribe. Then you're more likely, it's like, and I hear the whole Jesus thing of you are particularly supposed to treat the others like your family. So it's like, all right, he especially has preached, no, you are, yes, it's easy to treat your family good, to treat people who treat you good. That's not difficult. It's difficult to treat an asshole decent. That's the test. The test is be a good person when it's not fucking easy. Do good things when it's difficult. So, you know, and I look out and I don't see much of that, and I would like to see that. I see, honestly, I have personally seen Mormons behave like that part of Christianity, adhere to that part of Christianity exceptionally well, much more than any other kinds of Christians. Um, they do have some flaws. They are kind of 18th century in terms of some social conventions, but by and large, they are pretty good at taking care of others, and they're just pretty nice people, and very. It's hard to lodge a complaint about Mormons, other than they just believe in wacky things. But you religious people, they're gonna believe in wacky things. You just have to kind of get used to that. If you're gonna deal with a religious person, that's you're gonna get wacky. So I mean, that kind of criticism you got to just kind of put aside for a second. But this super right wing kind of leaning of some Christian Americans to just be like wanting to steer towards fascist Nazi Germany esque shit. just makes me want to be like, yeah, I really don't want to be a Christian. I don't want to be associated in any way with Christianity because, you've tainted the water. Those people have tainted the water. And it's like Islam. Those suicide bombers have, like, I don't even have any interest in even looking at a Quran because of them. And, Jews, I mean, like, you make good movies and everything, but, I don't know, there's just something kind of about Jews. And because of all those three, I'm just like, religions in general, just kind of like, meh. So you guys, between the three of you kind of just make me go, I don't know about religion in general. I don't feel like exploring any organized religion. You've kind of soured me on the entire concept of like, oh, maybe I should look for a church because this religion concept seems kind of interesting. And so I kind of settle on like, I think there is something out there, but and I feel like something else is to this, but all you guys say a good game, but you do shit. All right, you're hypocrites. By and large, you're hypocrites. No, that's why I live by more or less the philosophy of Jean-Luc Picard. That dude has an absolutely ironclad morality to him. And that's why I fucking cite Star Trek so much, because you kind of can't go wrong with the philosophy of the Federation. I mean, it's, they got almost impeccable moral standards. I mean, yeah, there's section 27 or 29 or something, but you know what? You need a very murky intelligence organization in any government. You just need it when you're dealing with when you're dealing with multiple big power governments. You need a CIA. It's kind of true. Anyone that isn't willing to understand that and acknowledge it isn't living in kind of a real world. That sucks. I wouldn't want to be a person that has to live, has to work at CIA or something that is like the CIA but doesn't advertise their existence. Because that would mean everybody there does not have a, personage anywhere, even in the digital environment. They don't exist anywhere. So, yeah, that would not really be for me. But yeah, that's kind of where I am with that all stuff. And yeah, I'd like to, that's that last thing for me to add on there, you know. That's where I've gotten in my lifetime so far. And so other people can kind of judge me and be like, well, you have to like, they say you have to like surrender yourself to Jesus or something like that. You know, this may seem blasphemous to those who say that, but I think any God that is, and this is not exactly the best way to phrase it, but any God that's worth it, that is both worth being a God and worth, hanging out with, wouldn't require that, wouldn't even want it. You would be bored with people that wanted to just sit there for eternity, glazing, knobbing his balls all the time. You'd probably be like, you know what? We have tables for people like you. They're over there. And I don't even think it's like that. I don't even think it's like that anyway. Why would you want to go to one place for eternity anyways? I'd much rather like something like reincarnation, or at least the option of reincarnation. I think that's much better. You know, everybody wants to travel the world and see everything. You can't. We don't live long enough to do that. Besides, can you really see everything in this body? We're uh, we're not the right size, shape. We don't have eyes that can see everything. The human form is not the perfect thing to experience the world in its completeness. This is a pretty efficient mechanism for experiencing stuff, but I mean, it's not perfect. You could be a wide variety of animals and get a whole different set of very interesting experiences in your life. Animal in the ocean, a whale, you get all over the ocean. You can be a small insect and get that perspective on life. You can be an eagle or some kind of bird like that and soar, spend hours and hours just gliding. When people say, well, we have airplanes, that's not nearly the same thing. You just, with a bird like that, you just put your wings out and just ride the air currents. You don't have to do anything. You just And all you do is just glide on the air. It's a totally different thing. You don't have to do anything. And like an eagle's vision is like you can see for miles, 1,000 miles with pinpoint. It's so totally different. Plus, some animals can see like outside of the spectrum of our eyes too. So they can hear outside of our spectrum, feel outside of our spectrum. So could live 10,000 lifetimes as 10,000 different creatures and still not experience everything. Live till the end of this universe and still barely scratch the surface. And then start it all over in a different universe with different laws of nature and see what that has to explore for us in different bodies. Because why not? So soak it up. You can choose to be a Grinch and just be like, I hate this. This is crappy. Or you can play, chess for 10 years straight. Some people, all they do is play chess. Totally content. Nothing wrong with that. Why is there anything wrong with that? Judge people for the wrong things. Is this done yet? Oh, good, it's done. Okay, good. Yes, done gathering. All right. And I'm back. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna go bye-bye again. Thanks for listening to my thoughts. Oh, man. I love this. Oh, man. This is a great combination. Oh, we love business. Oh, military. Oh, man. Why didn't we do this earlier? Man, that pussy is so tight. Oh, damn. Pop that pussy. When am I getting a cut of this? Never, bitch. So, tax rich people. You got rich people. Tax wealth not work. Boobs. Boobs. Peace out.